strategic placement of the timing. We're gonna start doing that a lot more, especially for the walk-in talks. We're gonna start having the time set up so y'all can come in, start running the chat up, sharing it up, and we'll start at 10 to 15 minutes after the announced time and get everybody a chance to get in here and we'll get right to our conversations. So hopefully everybody's having a good morning. As you come in, say good morning in the chat if you're watching Post Live. This is our new segment that we're going to do every Monday morning between the hour of 8 and 9, where we will come in and we will do our 15-minute walk-in talk where we'll talk what's hot in Alabama football, what's hot in college football, what's hot in sports. Because I've been watching my NBA playoffs finally. I've been having to try to take a lot more time to rest and get my body together. So I've been able to watch the playoffs. I've been watching WNBA kicking off. Um, if y'all didn't see it, Sarah Ashley Barker, the new squad, Phoenix, I think. No, it's not Phoenix. What's the new squad? It is Phoenix. They're in Phoenix. She had a nice showing their last game, and then USFL, y'all know Birmingham Stallions still struggling, man. AJ McCarron, those guys still struggling. Can't put anything together, seems like. But we'll get to it, man. We'll get to it. But right now, this morning, 15-minute walk. What's up, Greg? Good to see everybody celebrating their 24 months, 2 years of officially 2 years of the Coach Smook Network on this day. This is the first day where everybody was able to get memberships. This is a year, 2 years from that date. May 11th? Yeah, today's 11th. So it's funny. YouTube got it on the date to the exact date. Shout out to everybody in chat. Dominic, good to see you. Amanda, Mary J, Antonio, Zach, Jordan, good to see everybody. Roll Tide, Greg McKinney, Roll Tide. Good to see everybody this morning, man. We on our walk. Yeah, I know we got our fitness sessions. We got a new client today. A new client today. She's nervous, but we're gonna get her acclimated to the gym. Someone who's never been in the gym before, so it's gonna be a fun little journey. Going to impact her life, and hopefully we can encourage her, cause some positive changes in her life. So, all right, let's talk about it. Alabama recruiting. So, y'all see the hype is picking up. I spoke with the 2029 recruit that Alabama, or 28 recruit that Alabama will be a host in June. Um, one of the top, he's becoming one of the top athletes in his class. I was speaking with him. He was going to be transitioning primarily to wide receiver. The young man has grown a lot. If you all remember the recruits I spoke with during the Oklahoma game last season, the home game, um, he was one of the two. No, one of the four that we had on camera. So if y'all haven't seen that, go check it out. Gerardo, appreciate you for tapping in. Roll Tide, Ken. So, but yeah, so June 2nd through the first week of visits. I can't remember the exact date right now. I got to talk with our 2027 QB commit last week too, y'all. It was a good conversation. He's actually the one that's been keeping me in the loop. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Trent is a cool young man. That whole community at Thompson High School is just I don't know why we and I'm not saying that they just like songbirds or anything, but like if you have any type of professionalism or seriousness about what you're doing, especially when it comes to providing some exposure and some insight for those young men in that football program, they are truly inviting. So shout out to Coach Freeman and shout out to that Thompson family, man, the Warrior family. Them and a lot of other programs have been very, very. I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I don't have to make up stories about recruiting when it comes to their kids. Because I have just, hey, Coach Smook wants to speak with you. Shout out Coach Freeman and that staff, man, and that community. But yeah, talking with the 28 recruit, Bama's been was light on him during the season, which was crazy because they had him at the Oklahoma game. They hosting him nicely. You had some of the former great DBs telling them, they was telling him, hey man, you're gonna be the next one. He got to hang out with some of the players. And so got to talk with him yesterday. And he's excited, man. He's excited about his visit because this is gonna be his first official going into his junior year. Uh, he's ready to announce early, and y'all are here. Once he'll be an early verbal commit. Once Alabama makes that official offer, he's going to be that verbal commit, and he's gonna stick through. He's gonna be one of the guys that's driving the energy for the class. 2028 wide receiver. Um, and y'all will see him, man. He'll actually be on the show soon. He'll actually be on the show soon. And it's a few of them. 28. Then you got the 29 running back. Might end up being a linebacker. We've had him on the show too. They like these young men, these future guys. They're connected, and because of how highly touted they are, right? They're being connected with guys that are in these current commitment classes. Especially with the 26 class. Luke Metz, not Luke. I'm sorry, but I'm tripping, man. Uh, Dijon and all those guys that came in, they they have a lot of the younger guys that's connected to them. They're training with these guys as they was coming up, so it was kind of like a opportune time for me to be launched into the recruiting space. So you got those two guys that are keeping us in intel. For everybody that's excited about this offensive line recruit that's Alabama is starting to get, I told y'all. I told y'all that Friday morning. I said be looking for Alabama to start swinging for the fences with a lot of these big name targets. These offensive linemen, we're going the number 2 running back in this class is starting to lean towards Alabama. It's a lot of things shifting because Alabama's done the hard part of this NIL and portal transition. They've created a product, a program, and a system. Their retainment level, as far as guys retaining experience, production from season to season. How you doing? Good morning. They've been able to do that at a higher rate than most teams in the country. You look at what we've lost in the portal. Yeah, it's been some big names go. Some guys that were some legacy names or had big names while Saban was here, but were they really productive? They kept production between both seasons, post Saban transition. Even with when the Saban when Coach Saban retired, the amount of production that they were able to retain was probably or to produce after the production that left. They was able to retain 80% of that coming into this season, which I think played a major role in how this season played out. A lot of games, everything wasn't clicking on all cylinders at all times, but you saw that Alabama had the veteran experience or the chemistry factor play into their benefit a lot of times. So yeah, you see all these things happening, and it's because now the same thing we saw happen early in the Saban era, and it didn't happen at this level because they didn't have social media and things of that nature. A lot of times you only heard about guys because they came for a visit. A lot of times those guys that signed that didn't come on visits, they showed up on campus and there was side eye looks. But now it's so much social media and connectivity. You go to these different training facilities, you got these 7-on-7 circuits, these kids traveling, playing ball together. You got NIL in some of these states now for some of these amateur athletes. So it's becoming a thing where once you get plugged in, it's not hard to stay with everything. So we'll continue to break down recruiting, but just know that Alabama is definitely. I mean, this 27 class will be a testament. And I said this probably like 3 years ago. I told y'all, um, the way that Courtney Morgan was moving with the staff. Um, the way that Courtney Morgan was moving with the staff is one of those things where um he didn't come in half stepping. He didn't come in, acting like he didn't know what he was going to gain access to being the GM at Alabama, right? I think Courtney Morgan came in his aggressive approach in recruiting, making his statements to say that Alabama wasn't going anywhere, that nothing's changed. All of those little claims and things of that nature, they played a huge role in the mentality of this staff in recruiting. So in that, you'll see some changes. Now, I want to acknowledge something before we get off of here. We have about another 3 minutes. I want to talk about something when it comes to this season and the staff. A lot of people are excited about Coach Clem being hired as the offensive line coach. We went out and got Coach Owens as the tight ends coach. Coach Nix as wide receiver coach. But I think the most important coaching change this season, and we're going to see the effects of it with it being, such so much inexperience in the quarterback room. I think having Coach Ellis, who's really the structure piece of the QB development in this offense, he's really the centerpiece of it. Once we see Keelan Russell, well, I have as my starter, as the starter for this season. Once we see him and the type of bounce he makes this season, like through the first 4 to 5 weeks, we're going to understand why they wanted to keep Brian Ellis over, Nick Sheridan. And then what was the other coach we had that worked with QBs? Um, I forget, Coach Shep. And it's not to say anything negative about those two coaches. I think those two coaches are definitely play caller worthy, right? One being the head coach and Coach Shep, but Sheridan going to becoming a play caller. I think that was the best move for his career, right? I think he did a good job for his first season at Alabama with the assets and the situation. So him going somewhere else, fresh start, a little bit less level of a few less eyes on him, right, to move around as far as national attention. I think it'll be a good situation for Sheridan. And then, but Coach Ellis, I think he's the huge move on the coaching staff change, and we're going to see it. We're going to see the impact of it. You look at some of the guys that or some of the programs that he's been at, and the quarterback pieces that they developed. Long extensive resume of QB development, especially when it comes to schematics. How you doing, sir? Hey. Good morning. And so, yeah, man, it's a lot of things we're going to dive into, continue to dive into throughout the summer, throughout the break. Uh, but yeah, this morning, man, this walk and talk has been brought to you by our sponsors, man. Shout out to Frederick Harris and Farmers Insurance of Hoover, Alabama, for sponsoring this morning's walk and talk segment. We appreciate y'all for supporting us, man. And then also you, the AAA family, all the members. Thank y'all for tapping in today. Hopefully y'all like this little format, this little segment we do. We're gonna start doing these Mondays, Thursday and Friday morning, and then we'll do our call-in shows in the evening. That way we can build up some narratives. Don't forget you can call into the show. If you look in the description, the phone number is there. 334-625-1121. Call in, leave a voicemail. Say your name, put me in the game, Coach Smook, and leave a voicemail talking about whatever hot topics or things you want to know about when it comes to Alabama football. Or if you want your comment acknowledged or you want to present a topic, hashtag put PMITGC. Again, that's put me in the game, coach. PMITGC in the chat. Post live. It don't have to be live, post live. We'll see the comment, and your comment, your topic may be featured in the next show. So that's gonna be it today. I'm almost at the gym. Y'all know I love this walk. This is probably like the best part of my morning, this walk right here. So I'll catch up with y'all later, man. Y'all be blessed. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Y'all be blessed this day. I'll see y'all soon, man. If you're not following me on TikTok, go follow me on TikTok. We're gonna be doing some more gaming content and some reactions to game film. We got some highlights we're gonna do today, some high school highlights, some old Bama highlights. Just fun, interactive content on the network this morning. And I'm stopping by Waffle House today. That's all it took was one little whiff of some Waffle House. And I'm stopping by that mug after this. So y'all be blessed, man. Catch up with y'all. Roll Tide.